Hello, welcome back. You already know what's up. You saw the title. We got the Diorpium recap for UFC London. Let's just get right into it, man. Chanel Dyer versus Ravina Oliveira. I'm so glad Chanel Dyer got a finish. I'm not gonna lie. It was what the first round was. I don't even really remember the first round. It was pretty tit for tat. I'm not gonna lie. I think Ravina Oliveira was landing. She was landing in one specific shot. I don't really remember what it was. I think it might have been her cross over and over again. That was like actually like kind of like concerning me a little bit for Chanel Dyer, but Chanel Dyer was really just holding it down. Let's be real. In the second round, she fucking throws, I think her own kind of a cross, and then I think it kind of lands behind the head a little, not behind the head, but like back right here, or maybe it was just like fresh in the face. I don't really remember. But then throws a head kick after she was already rocked from that, and she basically falls and gets DKO'd. So it was pretty impressive. I'm honestly not gonna lie, but congratulations to Chanel Dyer. You know what I'm saying? My prediction was right. Had her winning that shit. And the next one right here, an unfortunate fight. I don't even like know how to feel about this fight because I love Shamrock, bro. But he got fucking unanimous decision by Abdul Kareem Al Sawadi. And literally, first of all, Al Sawadi reminds me of like just a mini Volk, bro. But not like a good Volk. Like I think it was really like the inside leg kicks he was throwing and spamming. Not spamming, but using to like set up or whatever. But just the way he like comes forward and like his blitzes, it's like he doesn't do anything like power wise, but he is landing, you know what I'm saying? So they basically did that for 3 rounds. Shamrock just looked like I don't even want to hit him with this comparison because I fuck with Shamrock, you know what I'm saying? But he was kind of looking like Patchy Mix out there, but like better. I'll say better than Patchy Mix. But he literally like and literally watching Shamrock fight, bro. Like his southpaw, obviously he fights in southpaw. He literally pulled back so many like lead switch head kicks that when Kareem was like or Abdul whatever was like circling towards that side, his weak side or whatever, and he just kept on like pulling him down. Bro, commit, bro. You literally didn't do shit for 3 rounds, and that shit like actually was like, come on, bro. Like I can't even defend this kind of behavior. Like, and you're like, or seem like obviously we know about Shamrock, so we know it's very entertaining and whatnot, but his fighting is kind of not. So he needs to lock in, bite down, and realize what he's actually there to fucking do. But you know what I'm saying? Everyone's on their own pace. I'm on my own pace. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. He'll get there eventually. Give him one more, don't cut him. That's my official opinion on that. But congratulations to Abdul Kareem Al Sawadi. He really did look good and shut down Shamrock. And he didn't even shake his hand at all throughout the thing. And I just think he didn't like Shamrock at all. I can't blame him because he fucking Shamrock posted a picture of a fight week or whatever with the like that tortilla that looks like Bilal Muhammad or whatever, but use that as a comparison to Abdul. So, he went in there kind of like with a little bit of an edge on his shoulder or whatever. Not really liking Shamrock, but hey, he brought it home to Palestine. So, it is what it is. They got him. Next fight, we got Louis Sutherland versus Brando Pericic. This fight was pretty good. I literally just rewatched some of these fights back, the entertaining ones, and the ones that I didn't really get to watch for real because I was at work, you know what I'm saying, Saturdays. I am slanging salsa. Y'all know this. But Louis Sutherland versus Brando Pericic. Brando Pericic obviously wins by first round TKO, or yeah, it'll say TKO in a minute 48 seconds. Immediately, Louis Sutherland kind of comes forward, just like kind of blitzing him or whatever, landing some decent shots, but nothing crazy. Brando Pericic kind of just like defends. At a point, he kind of had Plummet like threw a knee as he was going up back against the cage. So that's good. That means he's smart enough to fire while backing up. Because some people just be like, and literally get dropped, bro, like Curtis Campbell, bro. But we'll get to that fight. But yeah, he just did his thing, bro. Like he just put a beating on Louis Sutherland. He kind of had Louis Sutherland kind of bending over, and he was kind of like throwing like uppercuts or maybe even I don't really know if he's throwing knees, but he was kind of like piecing him up as you know what I'm saying. He was in that position or whatever, but and then Louis Sutherland fell to his knees, survived a little bit, then got hit with another shot and just fell to his knees again and got TKO'd. And that's it. So it's unfortunate for Louis Sutherland. I say we make an exception to let him hop back on the gear. Like, let's be real here. Like, we all see his Tapology page. Like, that shit's crazy. Someone started a petition. And, let's just inform Dana White or whatever. But, yeah. Anyway, that's really it. Good luck. I hope Louis Sutherland doesn't get cut, bro. He needs one more too. He's like kind of in the same position as Shamrock, but not really. Like Louis Sutherland, like yes, he's lost his last two. Obviously lost to Walter Walker, But he did break Walter Walker's leg with the leg kick, which is pretty insane. And now he just got TKO'd by Brando Pericic. Obviously, it's because he's off the gear or whatever, so he's not like, extra explosive than naturally or whatever. But yeah, you already know what I'm saying. And the next fight, Montas contra Tavicius versus Antonio Tricoli. Round 3 decision, unanimous decision for Montas. This fight was like good but bad at the same time. Like I don't understand how Antonio Tricoli didn't get TKO'd or like why whoever the ref was, I don't even remember, didn't just like call it. There's a point I think in like towards the end of round 2, if I'm not mistaken, where he's literally just like getting punched but surviving because the punches that Montas or whatever are throwing aren't really like doing anything because they're so gassed out from this pace that they've been fucking keeping up. I don't even what fucking weight is this for guys at light heavyweight, middleweight. I don't know, but they're fucking huge, and but it was just so bad. Like Antonio Tricoli literally got his ass beat at per usual. You know what I'm saying? Nothing like new. Like, but I think this is what not was not a good look for Montas, bro. Because he literally should have been in and out of there like on some Quill and Southkill shit. But he took it to a decision, which is pretty crazy. And they both were just slugging it out. And he literally just put belt to ass for 3 rounds. I think Antonio Tricoli probably had a couple good moments. I don't really remember, but like nothing that like stands out where I'm like, oh my god. But yeah, that fight was pretty buns or whatever. But we're just gonna move on to the next one. Mario Pinto versus Felipe Franco. I had Felipe Franco in this one, just thinking that maybe, when like I said, I was just feeling like close it against the grain or whatever. But also, like I thought this would be a closer fight, and it was. Like, so Mario Pinto did win by decision, but everyone was thinking he was gonna slime him out or whatever. But just because you slime out or flatline fucking Austin Lane does not mean that you're gonna like flatline Felipe Franco. And you know what I'm saying? And I'm not even gonna lie, I'm not even too familiar with Felipe Franco, but just like doing research on him, like it just didn't look like it was like feasible for me. But I don't know. He just like definitely just like fought the whole time and had like I think he had like a higher quantity and the quality of that quantity was better obviously. And Felipe Franco was doing his thing too though. His defense was good. That's what got him to the third or to the end of the fight or whatever. But also he was landing fire back too. He was slipping and ripping sometimes. He was in there doing his dirty work, but just didn't do enough. You know what I'm saying? But it still was a good fight nonetheless. Not the best one, but it was still better than fucking, Shamrock versus Abdul and fucking Montas versus Antonio. But we'll move on to the next one. We got Nathaniel Wood versus Lucien Keita. Split decision for the Nathaniel Wood here. I thought Nathaniel Wood made it like pretty clear, but it was ultra close. I'm not gonna lie. And this just proves how good Nathaniel Wood is because Lucien Keita is like actually really good. Like he won split decision over Jose Delgado, like we know, and now Lucien Keita. So he is like scraping by these like solid competitions of the featherweight division. But I can't even say but on anything. Like he's doing his thing, so I can't even hate. And he extends his winning streak or whatever to like I think 6 or 5 or some shit, something along the lines of that. But Lucien Keita did look really good here too. I think he will be a problem in the future of this division. I don't think, in my personal opinion, I think maybe he might get like top 15, like just like number 15 maybe, and then like there'll be some like ranking shifts, and he just drops out and then never re-enters. Like that's like as far as I see him going, but I don't know. I could be wrong. I'm not trying to be a hater either, and I don't feel like I'm coming like from a hater perspective saying that. But yeah, this fight was pretty good nonetheless. And then let's go to the final prelim. Oh my God. Mason Jones is your favorite fighter's favorite fighter. And for very obvious reasons too, bro. The chin from God. The fucking just the grit, the bite down, the forward pressure, the never back down, never what? You know what I'm saying? The fucking belt to ass he puts. The dirty boxing range he has. The fucking clinch he got. The knees in the clinch. The knees to the face in the clinch. The fucking, not even just the clinch, everything about, bro, his head kicks. Mason Jones is someone who I aspire to want to fight like. And like, this is just another performance to where it just proves that for me. I didn't really know about Mason Jones until I seen him in UFC Iowa fight Jeremy Stephens and he won. He beat the fuck out of Jeremy Stephens. It was still a really good fight nonetheless. That's why I was a fan. But this just further extends it. Like, the knee he hit on Axel Sola on the first round literally split his shit like this bad. Like, that was fucking disgusting and crazy. I'm surprised it didn't bleed more. And then in the second round, they already had like in between rounds, they had cleaned. They probably like put a little bit of Vaseline on it just to, do something. Uh, in the middle of that round two, fucking Mason Jones knees him in the face again, and that shit just like reopens in his face by the end of round two, but like before they go into round three, his whole face is red. Like it's actually crazy. But in the first round, he does throw a spinning elbow and drop Mason Jones, and then Mason Jones just instantly comes forward and kills at the whole fight. But they had some crazy scrambles too, and not even just scrambles, but like Axel Sola had some good reversals. He like sort of like hip toss in a way of like a reversal or whatever, where he like almost like DDT'd fucking Mason Jones, and Mason Jones' dead ass was like upside down like a pencil, bro, on his head for like a split second, like landed on his head type shit. Like, bro has a crazy just cranium. Like everything about that is solid, and I think it's because he's Welsh or whatever. But just the man, Mason Jones, bro. Like I said, your favorite fighter's favorite fighter, and he is like literally becoming one of my favorite lightweights. I'm not gonna lie. Um, if not, he might as well just already be there. But there's really not even too much to say about that fight besides just like it won fight of the night. And if you did not see that fight, go back and watch that fight because that fight could potentially be a fight of the year contender in my opinion. And if there would be a fan vote, I would personally vote for that one. Um, let's go into the main card here. This shit was pretty fucking crazy. Kind of. You know what I'm saying? Not really, actually, but it was alright. The prelims were pretty good. This whole card, we'll give it like a 6 out of 10. It wasn't crazy, but first fight, we got Danny Silva versus Curtis Campbell. First round, Curtis Campbell kind of, gets top position or whatever, just like kind of wrestles for most of the round up against the cage. You know what I'm saying? They're having good boxing exchanges. Danny Silva's cutting good angles, working, throwing good, clean combos, and landing too. And landing every time Curtis Campbell is backing up against the fence, bruh. Now we'll get to that. And in the second round, he literally TKOs him doing the same thing. Curtis Campbell literally just like has his hand up like this and then kind of has his arm extended to do that, bro. Danny Silva literally just throws it to, slimes him out. He literally gets knocked down. He literally gets knocked out for a split second, wakes up, tries to survive. Danny Silva, I don't know if he throws like an elbow or just like maybe like a tight right hook or just his right hand or something. Drops Curtis Campbell again. He gets up. Danny Silva's still putting belt to ass up against the fence, drops him. It's just like bad. And the ref stops him and stops it. Curtis Campbell gets his ass beat. This is what it is. It's a tough UFC debut. Danny Silva is crazy. And I didn't know he was training under Cub Swanson, so that is just pretty cool within itself too or whatever. But that fight was really good. Congratulations to Danny Silva. Finally getting a finish on the card. Not finally, but just another one. Then we go to CLD, you know what I'm saying? Christian Leroy Duncan versus Roman Dolidze. Unfortunate performance from both of these guys. But like their stock didn't even move, if that makes sense. If anything, Roman's kind of dropped a little bit, and Christian CLD's like raised a little bit, but not. There was like no like movement at all, if that makes sense. But sorry, he basically just does his thing, but Roman Dolidze doesn't do anything. I think he just tries to grapple all the time. I was at work for this fight, so I didn't even really get to watch it, but I just I didn't even want to watch it back, knowing that this shit probably wasn't even that crazy. And I felt with Christian Leroy Duncan, you know what I'm saying, but. It is what it is. Move on to the next one. Iwo Baranowski versus Austin Lane. Obviously, we all knew this was going to be murder. It was literally a right hook, left hook. Austin Lane's out. It's over. 28 seconds. But, bro, so like I said, I was at work watching this shit or whatever, but there's one of my regulars named Andy, bro. And I'd be trying to educate him and put him on MMA, and, like, I'd be, like, talking to him, I'd be, like, spitting all that knowledge or whatever about just, like, matchups or whatever. And he usually comes around the time that this fight came on. And he literally came on right before. Because I was, like, waiting for him. I was literally, like, waiting for him to pour his beer, set that shit down and then be like, yo, watch this shit right now. This shit's about to be crazy. Which is, the Evo versus Austin Lane fight. And that shit happens immediately. And he doesn't even barely... I mean, he gets to see it, but I don't think he was, like, watching it like, oh, my God. I don't know. Because he literally just sat down, you know what I'm saying? But it is what it is. Next time we'll get him on there. But it's so rare that I get to watch a man card with Andy at work. Because... this fight card was a little early considering it was in London or whatever, but it is what it is. I'm not tripping. We'll get there one day. Usually them Abu Dhabi cards get him right. He usually gets to watch that. I'm pretty sure he was there for Umar Nurmagomedov versus, not Sean O'Malley, fucking Corey Sandhagen. I'm pretty sure that was in Abu Dhabi or Dubai or wherever, Saudi Arabia. Abu Dhabi, Saudi Arabia, whatever. Who knows? But yeah, that fight was pretty good nonetheless. Next fight, MVP versus Sam Patterson. Didn't even get to watch this fight too, but thank God. Like, literally just thank God. Like, I'll just nothing. A whole lot of nothing, bro. And MVP, I just hope that they don't cut him. Because I think they should give him one more. Definitely fight up the ranking just a little bit. But this doesn't like help his case at all for like trying to like prove that he needs like good fights or like deserves to have good fights. He should have just stayed in middleweight, bro. Yes, he probably wouldn't beat fucking Hamza, but he might have a chance against Sean Strickland. And doing that kind of shit to high level comp like that would be crazy. I'm not saying he would beat Sean Strickland. All right, I'm not saying that. Just clarifying. So don't hold that against me. But yeah, that fight was shit. I'm not even gonna talk about it. I'm sorry, Michael Venom Page. But you might not be in my bedtime banner anymore. Following that, might need one more to prove yourself. But next one, co-main event: Luke Riley versus Michael Aswell Jr. Pretty solid fight. I had a 30-27 on my Diorpium scorecard or whatever. Michael Aswell Jr. looks really good though, bro. The way he was cutting angles, dude. Ellis, what's up with all these people cutting angles and throwing off that shit this fight? Everyone's looking good. I don't know if that. I think it was all the. No, I mean I guess it was literally everybody. But yeah, that fight was pretty good nonetheless. It was like, a good Luke Riley fight. Towards the end of the third round, you know what I'm saying? Luke Riley's literally just walking him forward, eating shots, and, pressing him and just, like, making it clear. But the first two rounds were close, man. You could really give one of them to Michael Aswell. I'm not too sure. Maybe round two. But like I said, I personally did make it a 30-27. But there probably is an argument for one of those rounds that you could give to Michael Aswell. But, yeah, Luke Riley also has the same issue. All these English fighters have the same issue. You know what I'm saying? And Meguru said it. I'm not trying to just rip his whole shit. You know what I'm saying? He did, whatever. But they all like walk like back forward, like back up again. When they're getting pressured and they're backing up against the fence, it's literally this. Or like this, like what Curtis Campbell did. Or it's just like, you know what I mean? Because they're trying to fire back, but it's like, yeah, hey, But listen, fight. What it is, what it is. You go as you go and you work upon that, and that's how you get better. But yeah, that fight was pretty entertaining. If you like a good stand-up scrap, that was good hands, good kicks. You know what I'm saying? And a genuine challenge for Luke Riley. But like I said, he did make it clear to me. Go to the main event: Movsar Evloev versus Lerone Murphy. Let me get my phone out for this, bro. Let me get my notes out. And I don't know what the fuck's going on. I wrote shit for every round, but then I think maybe I had shook my phone on the notes app. It'll like undo it. I think it did that for round 5. So it is what it is. Round 5 was pretty obvious though. Mobsar really just like did his thing. Round 1, I had this barely Murphy in my opinion. Ultra tit for tat. I personally think Mobsar landed the better shots, but oh my god, Lerone for sure landed more quantity. The kicks for Mobsar were money, especially his front teep. That first front teep he threw in the first round, you saw how far, first of all, that sent Lerone back. Lerone felt that shit. You just see it in his face and the way he drops his hands, his elbows to his sides, you know what I'm saying? But I personally did give Lerone that just for being more active and, having more of the, I think, more, I guess, time of pressing forward, if that makes sense. Round 2. I hate commentary, bro. The Lerone glaze is crazy and rude, low-key, to Mobsar. But give this one to Mobsar barely. They both landed great shots, but I think Mobsar landed more of the better shots. His overhand, body, and calf kick, he barely just out-quantities Lerone this round, but it's still a close one. That's what I felt like I seen, but the stats obviously say that Lerone outlanded him, which, I'm not saying that's crazy or whatever. They can say what they say, but I just think Mobsar did more. He stayed busy. And Mobsar's defense this whole fight is so underrated. His head movement is underrated. His slipping and ripping is underrated. Like, he literally will, like, kind of slip into, like, let's say Lerone throws a cross, right? Mobsar kind of, like, slops to the left. He'll throw that uppercut and come up with a crazy overhand. And even, like, come with a hook after that. And the hook usually never lands because, Lerone's really quick of moving out or whatever. But those first two land. Lerone's defense is actually good. So that's why them shits never landed, like, ultra clean, but a couple did land pretty decently. But yeah, man. And I'm standing on business too, bruh. Mobsar won that round 2. I'm sorry. Round 3. Mobsar eats a body knee from Lerone and then holds on and then takes him down. But Lerone gets back up. I've in parentheses, Mobsar hit him in the cup barely. That shit was a high inside leg kick. high inside leg kick. Watch the replay, bro. That shit maybe might have hit like the barely side of his cut, but if you watch that shit was just perfectly right there. Like that's why it took Lerone like 20 seconds to recover because he knew that shit was not bad. But everyone was in the commentary is so annoying, bro. Like, bro, get Mike Bisping out of the London commentary, bro. Like the glaze is insane. Um, Movsar ends the round with a good blitz, landing a slight knee to the body and throwing a fast combo to tag up Lerone, barely though. This round I give to Movsar because of the body kicks, his jab, and again, I think he landed the better quality shots. Even though Lerone barely outlanded him, Movsar's head movement and defense is holding up really well. Lerone landed one spinning wheel kick, but it slams Mavzar's guard. It didn't, it probably hit his shit a little bit, but Mavzar ate that shit if it even did touch his skull. I gave it 10-9 Mavzar. Round 4. Mavzar throws another inside leg kick, but it actually hurts Lerone. It hits Lerone's cut bad, bro. Like, that shit was, like, actually flush as fuck. I cannot defend this one. In parentheses, but taking a point like that was crazy in my opinion. Nothing intentional about it, and the first one didn't even hit for Rue. Let's be honest. They trying to have Lerone win by any means. And it was a quick the way that I think it was Mark Goddard, the way that he just took the point real quick too was he was trying to be slick with it, man. Get up out of here, man. You trying to ruin Mavzar's 49-46 scorecard. But let's move on, bro. The jab from Mavzar is working Lerone low key. Mavzar takes Lerone down with a double leg straight to the mat. Lerone stood up to get taken down again. Mavzar working that body lock against the fence. That's round 4. I gave it to Mavzar. In round 10, round 10, bro. Round 5, we already know. Mavzar just started grappling, holding him down. Lerone's obviously just getting beat, tagged up. He's landing a couple good shots, but nothing good that makes it so there's any sort of a conversation for him to win that round or fight. Or that round, if that makes sense. But I have it on my shit right here. Let me show y'all. Sorry. I have it 48-46 from, I guess, I would think unanimous, but, someone gave it 47-47, one of the judges, but for majority decision for Movsar. So it was still a good scrap nonetheless. Round 2, is pretty close. I'm not trying to say, people, each judge is their own, you know what I'm saying? Someone gave that shit a draw, but me personally, as, how I see it, I think Movsar barely landed the better quality shots and made it clear to me. It still was razor close, though. Do not get me wrong. And listen, I don't hate Movsar. Yes, he's not the most entertaining fighter, but this fight actually had me entertained, and I am officially going to say it now. I am a Movsar fan, guys. AGT brother on the line there. And I think the Volk fight versus him is way closer than people are going to think. Yes, I think Volk wins that, but I think that it's going to be just like this fight. But maybe, actually not just like this fight because, Movsar won this fight, but it's going to be closer than people think, but it's still going to be a good fight. I think Volk will take it, but Movsar did his thing, and y'all got to respect it, and he stood for the first couple rounds just to prove to y'all that he's with the sauce like that. So, can't really hate that, and then he locked down the takedowns towards the end of the fight and just made it clear. So, if you, don't agree with me, let me know in the comments or whatever, but thank you guys for watching. Take care. I'm about to drop the Seattle predictions. I got an interview with Michael Garcia I got to do and figure out, you know what I'm saying? Selling a fucking car, I might trade it for a fucking gun, you know what I'm saying, and some money. So I'm very excited for all that. You guys enjoy. Thank you.